I would like to start this out by asking a simple question. Who is the strongest character in any medium of fiction ever? Goku? Superman? The anti-spiral? God himself? That's right, I fucking said it, tip tip. No, none of these characters are shit compared to the one, the only, Saitama. That's right, this goofy looking son of a bitch is the strongest fictional character of all time, and basically, you are fucking stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn, grab your dicks, whatever the fuck you wanna do, and prepare to talk about the greatest anime from 2015, One Punch Man! One Punch! Oh, for the love of fuck! So like most anime, this show originally started off as a mango. Single Hit Dude was created by a guy called One as a way to practice out his shitty weeb drawing abilities, and practice he most certainly needed because Jesus Christ, take a look at these illustrations. I mean, no offense to One or anything, but I'm pretty sure my 7-year-old nephew could have done a better job drawing this. And he doesn't have arms, so fucking take that for what it's worth. Turns out drawing doesn't mean a damn thing though, because the story was still really good, witty, and enjoyable, garnering a huge fanbase online. One fateful day, professional waifu illustrator Yusuke Murata learned of Soul Smack Samuel and was like,
"Hey, that's pretty good."
Haha, you guys like that meme, right? Right? Please validate me. Anyway, Murata went up to One and was like, okay, listen here, this is some good shit, but it looks like shit, so I'm gonna help you out. And then boom! The One Punch Man digital remastering was born, featuring the same story, but actually, you know, not looking like this. After that, even more people found out about the story, including Madhouse Studios, who then picked it up and brought us what you're looking at now. Story, characters, and dialogue still remain widely unchanged, but now it's, you know, an animated TV show. Now that we have that history lesson out of the way, let's actually talk about what's going on in the show. The Lone Whack Willy world is comprised of 26 massive cities, cities A through Z, and they're constantly under attack by evil monsters that would see them destroyed. These evil monsters come in many different shapes and sizes, from fish people to a purple piccolo-looking dude to whatever the fuck you would call this thing, and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. It's up to the Heroes Association to recruit heroes and deploy them throughout the cities to combat these evils, acting like a police force of sorts. Heroes are ranked by the association based off of their abilities, ranging from Class C heroes that mainly deal with things like stopping petty street crime, to Class S heroes that mainly deal with things like stopping planet-annihilating threats. The abilities of these heroes ranges pretty drastically on the power level scale. For example, one of the top-ranked S-class heroes uses powerful psychic abilities to defeat her enemies, and then there's the top-ranked C-class hero who's just a dude with a bicycle. The aforementioned goofy-looking son of a bitch Saitama is not a part of the Heroes Association. Well, not at the beginning at least. You see, the show explains that, oh, Saitama just didn't know about the Heroes Association until somebody told him about it, but it's pretty obvious that One just kinda threw it in later in the story to progress the plot. Anyway, here's the thing about Saitama that makes him so special, and I know I already said it at the beginning of the video, but it needs to be said again. He is the strongest fictional being ever created. Just like, objectively speaking. Think of Saitama as more of a concept than an actual character for a minute. As the title of the show itself says, he can defeat any opponent in just one punch. So conceptually speaking, he will always be stronger, faster, and more durable than his opponent, no matter who that may be. There is no cap to Saitama's abilities. As cliche as it may sound, his power is quite literally infinite. Let's use Elder God Demon Bane as an example. He's got infinite power and invincibility too, but here's the kicker, he would still be defeated by Saitama in a single punch. Why? Because he's One Punch Man, a man who can defeat any enemy with one punch. That's just his thing. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well that's fucking stupid, and yeah, you're not wrong, it is fucking stupid, but here's the thing that a lot of people seem to ignore. One Punch Man is just a gag. Of course having the ability to kill literally anything in one punch is absurd, because it's a joke. You're not supposed to take it that seriously. With that being said, you may now be asking yourself, how exactly does this work as a story if the protagonist is never actually capable of being challenged? Saitama's struggles are internal, the main struggle being the fact that he's really bored. He loves to fight, he wants to combat an opponent on his own level, but when all it takes to defeat someone or something thing is just one little punch, that isn't really a possibility. To quote Saitama directly, having overwhelming strength is pretty boring. The more traditional main character role goes to Genos, Saitama's apprentice. Genos is strong enough to hold his own against some tough enemies, but always finding himself just a few notches below the really tough enemies. Anyway, to tie all of my ramblings back together, Saitama and Genos go to the Heroes Association, try out, and quickly become fully fledged heroes. The hero tryouts consists of an assessment of physical capabilities as well as a written test. Genos scores perfectly on both of these things, automatically placing him in the S class, while Saitama, on the other hand, while breaking every physical record in the association's history, completely bombs the written portion and is put in the C class. From that point onward, the plot mainly revolves around Saitama and Genos working with the association to fight giant OP monsters, which Saitama usually ends up, you guessed it, killing in one punch, but he never really gets much of the credit for it. Few people truly grasp the full extent of Saitama's power, so a lot of the public, as well as the other heroes within the association, think he's exploiting the system in some way to get all of these kills and rise through the ranks so quickly, adding another layer of actual conflict that Saitama faces throughout the series. The overall writing style of Uno Bash Ombre is absolutely brilliant. As I said before, it's a gag anime, more of a comedy than anything, but it still manages to have some very grounded, serious, and at times very emotional tones. If you like comedy, then you'll like this show. If you like action, then you'll like this show. If you don't have completely shit taste, then you will like this show. One Punch Man is one of those rare enigmas where people who aren't even fans of anime end up loving the show because it really just is that good. It also certainly helps that it is outstandingly well animated, and I really cannot stress this point enough. Madhouse Studios outdid themselves here. Everything looks great and moves beautifully, and this is no more apparent than in one of the main highlights of the show, the fight scenes. The fight scenes are the tightest shit. You've got the fast-paced metal pumping, the incredible fluidity and attention to detail for everything. It's just look at this. As soon as I saw the first episode of this show the day it came out, I knew that I had to make a video about it. I actually had an entire script laid out and ready to go the next day, but then I just kind of forgot about it, and now here we are months later. And despite me being a little bit late to the punch on this video, better late than never, right? If you're still yet to watch OPM, go do so, because I promise you won't regret it. I could go on about how amazing this show really is, but I think I've said all that really needed to be said. This is Weegee the God, and I will see you all next time.